What's going on, people? Today I am talking about District 9 in 4K Ultra HD. I have actually never talked to you guys about this movie, so I'm going to go straight into the movie itself first. I remember seeing this movie in theaters when it came out. I had heard good buzz about it, so I went to go see it, and I remember being absolutely blown away by it. And still am today. You know, this movie has some great social commentary in it that doesn't hit you over the face, and it kind of really makes you think, and it still comes across as just not being too heavy-handed. It does a great job at creating a world in the future that we have never seen before, and really hones in on what makes that world function, and how does it exist, and the different tiers of its social structure. So much of that is expertly done here, and it is the absolute best part. You take that and you add in the great performance by Sharltocopley. The only other characters that you really do get to know, though, are the other alien characters, and you get to know their struggles and their plight and how they are discriminated against, and how that portion of this story can factor into everyday life and our own social structure. And I definitely feel like for that, this movie is very, very strong. And that is why I am going to give this a 9 out of 10. And getting into the video quality here, this was actually given a 2K digital intermediate back in the day, so this is actually an upscale to 4K. But this is actually a pretty interesting one because of the fact that there are many different kinds of ways that this film was shot, because of different ways that this movie chooses to convey its information. You have one portion of this film that a lot of the exposition happens in, and that is all done through almost like an interview documentary style. And that is primarily done, with a tripod, almost like how I am filming myself right now. Now, there is the half where you see everything play out in the film, and that is done very guerrilla style, handheld, and it feels a lot more theatrical in that way. So what I will say is, especially with those interview segments, how much of a bump up can you expect here? A pretty damn good one. A really good one, in fact. I would say that a lot of the softness around the edges I found to be very, very cleaned up here, and this whole entire presentation felt a lot sharper on top of that. And specifically in CGI heavy scenes, or scenes with the aliens and the alien ship in the background, and a lot of the guns going off, a lot of that has been sharpened here, because I always found it a little bit soft, and it took me out of it when I originally saw this on Blu-ray. Here, that is fixed. On top of that, you do get pretty damn good detail in a lot of the scenes that take place in the now, not so much in the interview scenes. So in the scenes that you see everything play out in, those scenes have just a lot of different detail as far as the backgrounds are concerned. Specifically, once the transformation happens, that happens with Sharltocopley's character here, you get to see all of the different things that happen to his body. And once you get that alien form that happens, you get to see a lot more of the small details with it. Then, as far as the backgrounds are concerned, a lot, when he runs away, and then you get to see him in the aliens element. There's just a lot more dust and debris and detail that goes into their setting. And you get a whole lot more of that in 4K as well. The HDR here helps out immensely with black levels. I've always found the black levels in this particular film to be kind of grayish. They have fixed them and they are perfectly to black. On top of that, you get a more natural color palette with the washed out look that this film has at times, and it feels just a little more warmer than the previous versions of this film. And then when you're getting into the CGI elements, I feel like HDR gives them just that extra pop. Specifically when you're seeing a gun blast go off, then you see those blue hues shoot out. It really stands out, and it gives it a little bit more of a pop to kind of help the CGI in this film out a little bit. I was really impressed with the visual presentation here. I was one of the people that thought, hey, this might not be the biggest bump up, but it definitely is a very, very good one. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. And they have actually bumped up the audio here for an Dolby Atmos mix, and I love the fact that they actually took the time to do that. I feel like this is a strong improvement over that DTS HD 5.1 mix that was on the Blu-ray. This has always been a very nuanced mix as far as bass response goes, and it is absolutely carried over to this Atmos track that has given it a lot more of a flexing power. You get a lot more different bass levels here that make it seem a lot more deeper and a lot more higher at times as well, and it just gives it a lot more variance, and that is also great. And then when you're getting into speaker separation, it has never sounded better. Surrounds are more heavily used than in the DTS HD 5.1 mix, and height speakers are used more than you would expect. A lot of the action scenes in this film, specifically the climax, have quite a bit of height speaker work to them, and the score goes through as well. This is a great Atmos mix that a lot of people have a lot of fun with, because I did, and I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. And to give you guys the inside scoop on the digital copy here, this is actually a Movies Anywhere digital copy, which means that you can download this on iTunes and on Vudu and get the 4K version there. So, along with that, I will get into the special features here, and there are quite a bit of them. On the 4K disc, there are the new special features. There are some, but they are kind of minor. You do have all new Comic-Con footage that is like introduced by Peter Jackson, introducing the film to Comic-Con, and that is on the 4K disc. Along with that, you get the theatrical trailer and the teaser trailer, and those are the new content that are on the 4K disc. The audio commentary is actually not. Audio commentary is only on the Blu-ray that is also included here, but along with that, you get about 6 or 7 other featurettes that were good in their own right back in the day. They go through almost every level of the production here. And it is interesting to watch just to see how they chose to film this movie, and the choices that they made are pretty interesting. With that being said, I'm actually going to give this a 7 out of 10. I do feel like there's quite a bit here to actually watch and enjoy. And getting into my last looks at District 9, if you want to see how a science fiction movie with a social commentary can be done correctly without being heavy-handed, watch this movie. It is done perfectly here, and it is done pretty expertly. how this movie visualizes its world with its budget that it had, it is truly, truly great. It has a way of showing you how this social structure in this film is created around this event that happened that really makes you makes you just look at this and be like, wow, this is just a true vision here. And when you add up all my scores for District 9 on 4K Ultra HD, you come out to a 33 out of 40. That is largely because of the fact that this is actually the best way to watch this film, and absolutely the best way to hear this film, because this audio track is definitely a step up here. So coming up next on the channel, I do have to get into Requiem for a Dream in 4K, and then get into Back to the Future, and then I do have a special treat for you guys. I picked up a new released box set that I am checking out and that I am going to be reviewing for you. So, if you are excited about all of that, make sure you comment down below, and as always, thank you for watching my videos. You guys are awesome. I don't need to say it because you all know it, and I will see all of you next time.